In 2024, we introduced you to Ricky Moore, the James Beard award-winning chef behind Saltbuck Seafood Joint. In that episode, Ricky joined another My Home friend, Anna Shellum, for a day of harvesting in the coastal marshes. What we captured that day couldn't fully fit into a single episode, so now we're bringing you something special. Come along as we return to the marsh, uncover more of its secrets, and watch Ricky craft a dish straight from the day's harvest to add to the full flavor of that incredible day. It's a beautiful day here in Wrightsville Beach. Who are we going to see, Ricky?
We are going to see one of my favorite people, Anna Shellum of Shellum Seafood.
Now, why is this so important for you to connect with Anna?
Well, first of all, Anna and I have a sort of shared kinship. The water, first of all, but secondly, the idea of what she does and how she does it and the way she tells a story about shellfish.
Finally!
What's up, Mike? How are you? How are you?
So good, how are you?
Good to see you.
I'm stoked to take you out today.
Finally got that done. Finally got it done.
It's been a minute.
The camaraderie that I share with my chefs is why I'm successful. Focusing on sustainability and zero waste. There's never a time where something comes back that isn't going into hands that are excited and passionate about using that product.
So tell us what we're going to see today.
We're gonna go get, well, whatever you want, clams, oysters, mussels,
Right.
sea beans. You asked
Yeah,
for those
yeah,
for
sea
your
beans. Sea beans is
preparation?
important because it's going to be part of the preparation. We're going to do this, whatever we harvest, shellfish pot roast stew thing.
Oh my God, I can't
It's
wait.
going to be real delicious. I got some good little goodies in there. We're going to
Hell
have a good time
yeah.
with it, you know?
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
We're gonna go to Masonboro Island today.
Okay, is that your particular spot?
It's my favorite spot to harvest. So
Okay, got it.
Masonboro is in between river mouths. I don't like to harvest near river mouths because since shellfish are filters,
Right.
they bring in a lot of different flavors when you have that muddy muckiness. So
Right.
if we stay away from river mouths and stay as close to the ocean as possible,
Right.
I feel like there's just like a cleaner taste in all of the seafood in general. The mussels definitely.
You talk about mussels.
Yeah.
Like mussels, you know, a lot of people here in North Carolina particularly, they don't reference mussels here.
The PEIs, flavor-wise, are going to be a little sweeter, where here they're almost more oyster-like. They've got a lot of salinity and a lot of brine.
Right.
They're Atlantic ribbed mussels, so they really vary in size a lot. And I know that you're an adventurous chef who
Yes.
loves to deal with all those sizes.
Yes.
But it can be a little new for some people that aren't used to
Got it.
consuming them.
Sure.
It's an underutilized species here in North
Ah,
Carolina, which
that-
is important because we tried to bring that up.
That is a super important point to bring up, and hopefully we harvest those. And I'm going to cook them so everybody can see. Like North Carolina has mussels too. How about that?
That's right. Yeah,
All right.
and they are fabulous.
We're waiting for the tide to go out a little bit more. Tell us what we're going to do, Anna. What's our next step?
We are gonna start with oysters because the beds are getting nice and exposed now. And then we're gonna do some clamming. The mussels grow up at the base of the marsh grass, so we'll finish with that, and then we'll collect sea beans and whatever else Ricky wants to cook up.
When you deliver to me and you're doing commercial deliveries, you're out here by yourself. That's a
you.
big deal. And a
Thanks.
lot of work.
It is a
Yeah.
lot of work, even
Yeah.
mentally at home preparing for the week.
Right.
And Mother Nature only gives you what she will, and sometimes she doesn't want to. So
Right.
thankfully I get to work with, you understand
Right.
when Mother Nature is not giving.
That's right.
Thankfully she is today.
Yes.
But yeah, out here by myself, and I think that that's what keeps it sustainable, is keeping it this big. I make these little cluster busters. So it's just a steel piece that I break down, but legally oysters can, when you harvest them, have to be 3 inches.
Yeah.
So I put it on the back because we're gonna, if we have to bust anything off of an oyster, because we only get singles,
Yes.
just as you're harvesting, that's your size limit.
Understood.
And you can see by the cup of the shell what the meat might be like.
Sure.
So I can't wait to see what you pull out.
Okay. Okay. Good. And so these are cluster busters, and you made these.
Yeah. We try to be as self-sustainable and self-sufficient as possible.
Fantastic. Okay.
That's boat life.
Right.
That's having to fix stuff yourself.
That's right. Okay.
With a wild harvest, it's like you have to get to know what to look for.
Right.
Like this one looks like it might be okay, but I don't like the depth. I wouldn't deliver that to you.
This cup
It's a
is
little
good.
shallow, right?
Right. Right away when we start talking about the cup, it's definitely shallow.
The tricky thing about the wild is you never like when we land on an area, I never know if they're gonna be seen.
So I'm trying to figure out what you are. You're just grabbing stuff like, yo, man, she's just grabbing stuff.
Well, so I looked for,
This,
that's pretty.
my first one?
Hey! There you go. So next I'd hold it by the oyster itself.
Okay.
And then break the excess off. There you go.
All right.
Save that little fresh cup.
Right on, right on.
Ooh, is that a little whelk? I've never cooked whelk before,
Really?
but we have one to play around with.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're hard to get out of their shell.
So they gotta be poached out of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a steam bath.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
You treat a whelk the same way you treat it like snails.
Yes.
Same thing. Conch as well, you know. So.
So the reason these are whelks and not conch is
Right.
the conchs are only herbivores and these guys eat clams and oysters and they eat meat.
Right. Right. So they eat shellfish, man. So that the meat is just spectacular once it's handled correctly.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
I know that corner is going to be good and there might be a nest on the way, so let's walk around.
Okay. It definitely requires a trained eye of.
That's a pretty little nugget. Ones that are too small, like this guy, is
Yeah.
going to be beautiful one day.
Right. Right.
But he's just shy of the limit.
Gotcha.
So then I toss him back.
So is this a deep cup or there's something else hanging on the side?
Ooh, I see what you're seeing.
Yeah.
This guy, we could knock him off.
Really?
Yeah, that's pretty.
Okay.
They grew around each other. Nice work.
All right. Cool. All right. I'm getting the eye.
You got
Anna,
it.
I'm getting the eye. Anna.
I had no doubt you.
I mean, I see when I get fresh oysters, they're really muddy.
There's also
Yeah.
different ways of harvesting your oysters. Like if
Okay.
you tong for oysters,
Okay.
which is what they
Define that
do.
for me, please.
So that, like, we would be on our boat with
Right.
a long pair of tongs,
Right.
pulling up from the bottom
Right.
and putting it on our boat and then sorting.
I see.
So that's where you get all that mud. This area is really unique with, you know, we can just walk around on low tide, but sometimes the tide doesn't drop well in an area forever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so yeah, just the different methods.
This method is hand harvest.
Yes.
Okay, just want
Yeah.
to kind of speak to that. You know, like the differences.
And then there's no bashing to tonging. Tonging is a really cool style.
Okay.
You're basically scouting for lunch. Is what you're doing right now.
Today,
Ricky.
hell yeah.
You're scouting for lunch.
Yeah, and the thing is, what if we all had to do that? Scout for our food.
All right, right.
You know what I mean? Like it becomes more precious. So that people know, like people like this have such a disconnection to. All they know is when I walk in, give me them oysters on ice, and give me my little hot sauce and my little vinegar and onions, my mignonette.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. This is what all has to go down before you get that.
Yeah. And once you get it to the dock, you have to clean it, do all your paperwork,
Yes.
and properly refrigerate
Yes.
it and transport it safely.
Absolutely. All of that.
There's a lot to it.
Oh, I went there, had oysters. They were all right. Shut up. Shut up. Go out and harvest your own. How about that?
Anything worth having costs
Yeah.
time and money.
Yeah.
Here. That's bustable.
Okay, good.
Those edges.
Okay, got it.
How long will these be good until you get them back and refrigerate?
So I legally have to get them in refrigeration within 6 hours.
Okay.
But these are good for 2 weeks. And it's okay to ask for a tag at a restaurant. You might
Yes.
like feel like a Karen by doing so, but it's totally like they have to legally have that proof there for
Yeah. We
when
keep
they were
our-
harvested. Yeah, they get really strict about that. So
So asking for the tag, you can see when that timestamp.
Yeah.
Is
you can really tell like when an oyster is on its last leg. Like when you open it, there's not as much oyster liqueur there. Like they're not as the moisture's gone.
Yes,
And
dry and-
Heather, if you want to grab that basket,
Yeah.
we can work our way around
Okay.
and do some clamming. Clamming's been harder and harder every single hurricane season.
Really?
Like
Oh, wow.
lots of dead shell. So when you're clamming, it's not necessarily as deep as you can go. They're
Okay.
gonna hide like 2 to 3 inches below the surface.
So they dig down, so you can't really.
Yeah, they're not showing at all. They have to be at least an inch big.
Okay, here we go.
There you go.
Yay!
All right.
It's amazing how much clams move. I can find a spot that I think is like an amazing honey hole, and the next year, even 6 months later, it's totally different. And while you're clamming, you also have to look for oysters at the same time.
Ricky, how many clams have you found?
One thus far, one delicious one.
One delicious clam.
Yeah, one that had a V on it, and it's.
We're gonna starve
Yeah.
if I'm looking for the clam.
Yep. All right, here we go. Got another
There
one.
it is.
All right,
Oh,
here we go.
man.
All right.
That's 2.
I'm on a roll. I'm on a roll. Come on, Heather. Let me count mines, man. Don't count mine. Don't say it out loud. Man,
It's
come on, man.
frustrating, right?
Here we're kind of hitting a dry patch a little bit.
It's definitely not commercial abundance anyway. It's lunch abundance, but not
Lunch
commercial. I wish there was a spot that had like everything, everything abundant in one area, but because it's wild, everything is so
Yeah.
unpredictable. It can be very unexhilarating.
And see, there again goes into the patience. Aha, got another one. Okay, Heather, count that one too. Count it up.
3? Is it 3?
Once,
Oh, man, let me get my game, step my game up, man. I want a dozen. I'm gonna get a dozen. We ain't leaving until I get a dozen.
all right.
Okay, hey, count it up.
You got nothing?
Oh.
Hey,
Count it up.
Oh man.
Oh. Look at that genius. Look at that genius.
so good. I'm glad we're not starting with mussling because mussling, they do grow in clusters. And you guys are gonna be so relieved. You'll be like, I could mussel all day, every day. But I'm glad we started with the trickier stuff.
So Anna, so we're out here getting ready to harvest mussels.
Yes.
So tell us exactly what we need to look for, what's the technique?
Absolutely. So they grow at the base of the marsh grass and they
Right.
kind of grow like little blooming onions.
Right,
So you can see like this, we'll call it a family here.
right.
They grow in these clusters and some have oysters attached, and if we can't break those off easily, we
Right.
leave them and put them back in.
Right.
But I like to use a hori-hori knife
Right.
so it doesn't disrupt the bed itself too much, or the family itself. So we're gonna put
Right.
it right down the side,
Right.
put it under and push up.
Like this?
And it'll, yes.
All right, cool. Okay,
And then
so-
it'll bring them up to the surface more so we can, their beards are what's attaching them to the, oh, there you,
Oh.
dang, they're excited to see you.
Okay.
Once you get in like that, you can
Right.
use your hands
All right.
afterwards.
All right.
But yeah, they grow in these beautiful little
Oh, look at that.
clusters.
Oh, wow. So
Lot
you
more.
call the knife, the tool, a huli knife.
Hori-hori,
Hori-hori.
H-O-R-I.
Okay, and what does that mean? What do you mean? I mean,
It's just a basic gardening tool.
okay, there
That
you go.
just seemed
All
to
right.
be
yeah,
the,
had a special
the ticket
name.
for this.
All
yeah.
right, got you. Okay, Heather, you can count now. I got
Okay.
17 now.
I see that.
I got 17, okay? I'm pulling it up like that.
Anna, what are you looking for when you're like, just kind of see them?
I look for the top of them, like their lips. There's some right here that you can see. After repetition,
My
your
gosh.
eye just gets used to
Wow.
it.
Right.
That's like Where's Waldo?
They'll grow all along the edge.
Uh-huh.
Because like right now we're in the meat of the marsh.
Sure.
But like on that edge,
Right.
if they grow up to an oyster bed, the beds kind of keep them from expanding, and if they're all growing together, the
Right.
oysters hold them tighter.
Right.
And so when you try to cook them, it might require extra heat because it's not letting them pop open, or you'll be like, oh, these might be bad because they're not opening.
10-4. Okay, that's awesome. That's great. That's great information right there, because I think a lot of people will be, like I said, they've been trained on PEI.
Yes.
That's what they know. That's their reference point. So
Yeah.
when they get these, there's a little bit of like culture shock or
Yes.
muscle shock.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what I mean? So I just
Absolutely.
want to kind of speak to
even-
that. Like I said, when I first started here, man, it's like, it feels good to be here. It feels good to be out here with you. It feels good to know that I have another opportunity to participate in this experience. So I just want to show my gratitude.
I
Like,
am
real talk, right?
honored
Like,
to have you here, man.
This is good, and hopefully folk connect with what we're putting down. At this point, after going out in the water in the marsh with Anna Shellum, and we harvested a bountiful amount of Atlantic rib mussels. What I'm gonna do today is sort of like a Caribbean sort of riff on these Atlantic rib mussel. And we also harvested something special, sea beans. And that's gonna be the salt in the dish. We're gonna go straight into the pot. When you're cooking these Atlantic rim mussels, the pot gotta be really hot, okay? Really hot. Wanna hear a sizzle. I'm gonna add onions, I'm gonna add garlic. So the goal here is to start to build flavor. Now I'm gonna add some butter. And now at this point, I'm gonna add my coconut milk. I'm gonna add some wine, and I'm gonna add my sea beans. They look like small little grass, but I chopped them up so they're small. I'm gonna use this as seasoning. I'm gonna add my pepper. Now we're gonna put the lid on, and we're gonna let this come to a strong boil. And once it's come to a strong boil and the mussels start to open, then we're gonna add the herbs and the asparagus and a little zest of lemon. And while you do that, I'm gonna do this. Add in our ackee right inside. We're gonna work as a team here. This is a Jamaican fruit. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna finish it with some local peanuts that I spiced up with a little spice rub and curry.
And doing this kind of seafood
Yes.
in a pot, it's such a great way to do something you've harvested from the ocean.
Right. The primary thing, traditional thing, is always to cook it in some sort of flavored broth of some sort, you know, and for me, I kind of felt that this was appropriate today. So let's go up and start to enjoy this, get this thing plated up and eat. Okay? All right. This is the result of marsh to table.
So beautiful.
Wow, that is amazing.
What you thinking? What you thinking?
I love
Did we
firmness of the asparagus.
Perfect. Perfect.
Oh my goodness. Sorry we didn't wait for you.
Cheers. Cheers.
That's amazing. And the heat from your peanuts comes in at the end.
Oh boy.
Really good.
The coconut has so much brine to it because of
That's right.
that.
And it's a good, that coconut, you know, comes across sweet, but it isn't. And so it does well with shellfish.
Really balances it out.
It's like marsh medicine. Marsh medicine? What do you think?
I feel that.
I really appreciate you having me out here. It's been fun. You gonna let me do it again?
Yeah, you better come out with me again.
Okay.
Please?
Okay. Yes.
Thank you for coming with me.
Yeah.
And all of you. This was amazing.
From marsh to table. It's my new favorite thing.
That's right.